Shalom. All praises to Yahweh. Bashem Yahshua, Bashem Harakagadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone that rule well. And shalom to all the brothers doing the work of Syrian truth. Yeah. So it's anyone that's been going shopping in like the last year, over here in the UK, it's been obvious anyway that inflation's hit in a big way. And these guys have been tracking the numbers. You look at the numbers, it's fucking nuts. Like, it's funny because there's an article above this one that was saying like, Tesco said that they're doing cuts in like pasta and cooking oil. Cooking oil is going to be one of those that's had like the biggest hits because it's the majority of it comes from Ukraine and Russia. But then when you look at like how general inflation has hit like all these different products, it's hilarious. So the UK consumers are paying more every time they go to the supermarket, with some meat, yogurt and vegetables among items costing double what they were this time last year as food inflation surges. At Asda, more Linny Frankfurters rose from an average of £1.25 to £2.42, a rise of 93.8%. A 4-pack of brown onions at Morrison's went from 65p to 124, 90% more over the course of 12 months. Also at Morrison's, Lancashire Farm Natural Bio Yogurt, 1 kilo went up from £1 to 118. 12 months, went up by £1 from 118 12 months ago to 218 in April, a rise of 85%, which analysed prices on more than 26,000 food and drink products for its inflation tracker at 8 major supermarkets. Yeah, there's like pretty much everywhere prices have been going up. The one that I noticed is there's a Marks and Sparks like near where I work, where I go to buy a bottle of water, and this thing was like 40 pence for the last however long, like until like 2021 it was 40 pence, then it went up to 45, and now it's at the point where it's 80. I remember noticing, I was like, when it went to 45, I was like, it was always 45. Well, I didn't even think about it then. It was when it got to like 50, 55, I was like, I don't remember this costing that much. Then it was like 60, 70, now it's 80, and I'm like, this is funny because that's just been every product, every place. You can see why inflation, like it's cost of living crisis, because it's peak. And most people, it's like, especially when we're dealing with people that are like near the poverty line, they're just about getting by. It says as well, so it says, the consumer body found Aberdoyle Dairy's natural cottage cheese, 300 grams at Lidl, had gone from an average of 67p in 2022 to 134 this year. A difference of 100.9%. Meanwhile, at Tesco, own brand salmon tails, 260 grams went from £3 to $4.54. And they said what supermarket own label budget items were up 25% in April compared with the same time last year. And it's that's those own brand products. That's basically how a lot of people get by. And if they're even going up, then it's people are feeling the heat. Because they'll just go for like, Tesco brand eggs, Tesco brand cheese or whatever. And that's meant to be, the money saving option. That's gone up. It's peak. And the thing is it's not just that. It's obviously like rent's gone up. Energy prices gone up. It's, it's getting tough. And with this kind of a squeeze, you can see how the, switching over to the beast system can the uptake on that is going to be easy. Because why? It's filling your belly That's a lot of what people, where it begins and ends for a lot of people. But then, they might have utes, and they got to feed the utes and that. So then, it's gonna be a mess. So this is what still usually achieves. The scale of these price increases demonstrates how low-income shoppers are being hit hard by soaring inflation. Other food categories where food inflation continues to rise month on month included juice, chocolate, water, fish, chilled ready meals, and cheese. Yeah, water, I've noticed that one. I guess chocolate as well. It said branded goods meanwhile showed no change, staying at 13.8%, while regular own brand food and premium own brand food inflation decreased slightly since last month. Sue Davies-Which, head of food policy, said it's very alarming to see products such as meat, cheese, and vegetables that people rely on still rapidly soaring in price. Yeah, it's funny. Veggies has been on an up and up. This availability for some has been low as well. So it says, as the Prime Minister gathers supermarket bosses today to discuss the problem of inflation, we urge our supermarkets to commit to do much more, including stocking budget lines in convenience stores to ensure easy access to basic, affordable food ranges that support a healthy diet, particularly in areas where people are most in need. Supermarkets must also provide transparent pricing so people can easily work out which products offer the best value. Yeah. So the food prices increased by 19.2%. That's at the sharpest jump since August 1977. That's fucking wild. Can't even lie. That's a 20% increase in how much. Because everyone, it's funny because like you talk to people and like they talk about when they go shopping, and like yeah, it's noticeable. Like they'll do the same shop they've done, but they'll go from paying like £80 to like 120 or something. So it's peak. People are feeling the heat. That pressure's increasing, and it makes sense why. Because where else is it gonna go? So we're not expecting large-scale price rollbacks. Read the second edge of 16. And it says 17. Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Famine's a key one. That's the thing with these prices being increased. It's what, people are gonna either be going for cheaper brands, eating less, or they're gonna have to switch up what they eat. But then as, greater crises increase, it gets harder and harder to get food. And that's when, when famine gets on the table, that's when it starts getting fucking peak. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Yeah, there was that period of time, really from like 2015-ish to like 2020, or even 2021 a piece, where because of like it was like low interest rates and mainly the super low interest rates, it just had money, like people able to get money like it was water. like getting loans from the bank and whatnot was piss. It was super easy to start a business, and then because of so much money flying around, you could have a business selling I don't know, man, selling anklets, for people's dogs, and then you're gonna be making money because people have got so much money to spare. They'll buy like 4 anklets for their dogs, and you're like, wow, I'm a great business, and then it's just you're an Edomite and you're getting blessed. But now it's come down to the real. Then it's people are unaware of the actual how dire the straits therein are. This is what, behold, victory shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Yeah, hella people gonna perish from that famine and the sword as well. Because just as what you're seeing, people getting blasted on both sides in Ukraine, it's gonna be a madness. Because it's about what? That world war, that third world, where you're gonna have a mass amount of death upon earth. Because why? All these different nations are gonna get put into the blender, into the meat grinder. Because that's what Yahweh is about, man. Read this too. Ezekiel 5:16 says, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. And yeah, that the evil arrows of famine, that staff of bread getting broken, you can see it happening easily. Especially over here, it's an island, man. So many things are imported, and there's basically the amount of food being stored is on a minuscule level compared to the people over here. So yeah, it's funny because it was I can't remember the exact company, man. I think it was Toyota in Japan. It was one of the companies in Japan where they basically cut the costs of them producing cars, and then they managed to produce like low cost cars by having all the parts that they needed ordered just in time for when they would need it in the production line to keep production up. They didn't keep like a huge storage, which saved them a lot of money and basically allowed them to trim down on production. And that was something that got popular and took over. But then that was also why when the pandemic started, there was a bunch of shortages on things, because it basically killed the capability to send stuff, to get deliveries. So a bunch of stuff was not able to be produced. So it's like that's the model that took over in general, over Esau's domain. I'm like, oh, you can save substantial money. You don't have to hire people. You don't have to have like huge warehouse. You kind of just have a light warehouse. You have a few things, and then you order on the regular, and you get stuff topped up to where you can keep going. Because that's the system. A lot of places can easily fall victim to what? Having not enough as soon as a shortage hits. Nah, famine's coming, man. It's gonna be peak. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yep, shalom.